what are our value?
All successful women. Oprah, Ariana Huffington. Let them know that this is important to you. I'm going to make time for you for this time period. But then during these hours, mommy needs to work on it.
So Mayel, she's making a power move because now she's going to take those millions of dollars and become a venture capitalist. I have opened it up and found all these free courses that teach you about marketing, running a business, trail, or a path.
Hey, ladies.
Hey. I'm so glad to be back, right?
Right. We're back for another great episode. We are in March, which is Women's Entrepreneurship History Month. That's how I'm phrasing it. Even though it's Women's History Month, I'm saying this is Women's Entrepreneurship History Month.
Give it up for the woman.
Yes. So women are coming in leaps and bounds in starting businesses, entrepreneurship, development. I mean, we are taking the world by storm.
Yes.
And we all know Beyonce. We all know Rihanna. We all know Oprah.
Ariana Huffington. I've been following her.
Ariana
Love
Huffington.
Her.
All successful women who are making great strides
Yes.
in business and everything they're accomplishing. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important that we highlight and we talk about women entrepreneurship because not too long ago, and I'm sure Mary's going to talk about it, we couldn't even own property.
Yeah.
We couldn't even own land. We had to rely on men. We couldn't spend money. We couldn't hold jobs. Mm-hmm. Now we're holding jobs. We're driving companies. I mean, we're investing and doing so many wonderful things. And for women who are juggling many things like motherhood and family and relationships, it's so much that we take upon ourselves, but we still have the efforts to establish these, business global entities. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned Rihanna, Beyonce, and some other entrepreneurs, but social media has also brought about more entrepreneurs.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge.
And we're joining the club too.
Exactly.
Without a doubt. We are.
We're joining.
I'm sure many of you have heard of Nicole Lynn, who had this clothing line she started and has boomed into so many brand deals. Mm-hmm. Kiana Watson is a realtor in Georgia that I follow, and she's opened Agents for Success. And Tabitha Brown.
Who hasn't heard of Tabitha?
Tabitha Brown, and what's the name of her wig? I forgot her name.
I don't know.
Diana or something. Oh, Donna. She calls her hair Donna.
Listen, she's an inspiration.
I mean, yes, just doing what she loves with going vegan and doing the dishes and creating recipes and filming it, I think is wonderful what we're doing.
Yes,
and just to note that traditional way of trying to start a business, there's so many different ways.
Oh,
you don't really have to rely on people or, I guess expect celebrities to toot your horn. You could toot your own horn and establish something.
Without a doubt. Yes. I mean, what's so fascinating to me is when I think about my mom. And my mom, she was in the 50s. Mm-hmm. So she couldn't have a checking account. She couldn't own property. Wow. She couldn't have anything in her name. It had to be with her husband. Mm-hmm. And now, like in 2019, we now see that most of the new businesses are 50% women-owned. Right. And then of those, about 18 to 19% are women of color. And when you look at the amount of money that these businesses are making, it's in the billions, like $350 billion. And this is amazing. And that these women are employing 350,000 people in our country. So not only is it about women leading a company, they're also bringing people to their companies to work.
Right.
And it's a different dynamic when a woman owns a company.
Certainly is.
Feel what we bring to the table, right?
Let's face it, it is about balance.
That's right.
How do you do that?
Multitasking.
And that's why I love, when you speak of balance, right away I think of Ariana Huffington. She talked about balancing. One thing that's very important is connecting. She talked about simple things like resting, right?
She has nap pods.
Yes.
So at her business, she has a nap pod.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You can go and take a nap.
And that's very important. People don't think of it, but you have to rest your body to, one, recharge.
Yes.
You want to keep your circadian rhythm on point. That's
Absolutely.
important.
Do you know why she made that important?
Why?
She was so exhausted.
Yes.
You read that?
Yes.
She fell asleep
fell.
and hit her face.
She had
my
to get
goodness.
stitches in her face. Like, it was really
Wow.
bad. And she said, is this success? Because people connect success to grinding. I'm grinding.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what good are you if you're not
Recharging
productive
and resting
while you're grinding? You
Yes.
know what I mean?
And I struggle with that. I don't want to rest.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to turn my brain off, you know,
Yes.
because if you're thinking about funding, you're thinking about outsourcing, you're thinking about how can I make those next
Yes.
steps in my business. And that's where it is hard to understand how do we shape our businesses as women entrepreneurs. And I think for us, it's about how can we do it with our cell phone?
Right.
How can we keep things simple, streamlined, delegate?
Delegate. That's
I
right.
have a hard time delegating.
I know, because that's I won't say women in us, but we tend to
wanna
wear a
do
lot.
it.
We tend to think that it won't get done the way we want it unless we do it.
Right.
So we tend to take too much upon ourselves, and then at the same time, at the detriment to ourselves, we don't rest, we don't recharge. And that's why it's so important, because they say it all the time that in order for your cells to regenerate, it needs the rest. It
Yeah.
needs
Your
the
body
time.
needs a break.
Oh, and this is also the problem. I think we as entrepreneurs, we get to a certain level, and then we really don't know how to go big. You know, like I've seen I forget who the woman was. It was in the news just recently because she sold her company. She didn't sell.
Mael.
Yes,
Mael.
Mael. So Mael,
has the hair
she
product.
sold her
Yes.
company, and people were like coming down on her. But the truth is, she's making a power move.
She did the right thing.
She's making a power move because now she's going to take those millions of dollars and become a venture capitalist.
Right.
And help other people.
Exactly,
And guess where
because
she started? In her kitchen.
I know. And see, what we need are women who are venture capitalists who understand that we need that money at the beginning, that 10, 20, 30,000, so we can purchase some of our needed items, or we need somebody to help us, get those invoices filled, or hire some staff, or buy equipment. All of those capital kinds of expenses that you as a business owner will need to scale.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
So what in essence she's doing is selling her business so she can make more business, especially
So she's
women
building.
entrepreneurs,
Right.
to make them more in the pool. Because we get I won't say we, but people get upset when they hear, oh, she has this great business and she sold it. Well, you know what? That makes it more available to other business. That other person who's probably in her kitchen
Right.
doing the same thing that wants funding or needs help, she's able to help more people.
Because she understands what she needed at that point
Right.
that she couldn't get.
Yes.
And I think that's what happens a lot of times
So scaling.
when a woman is a leader to try and go to the standard ways of finding money, you get no's instead of yeses.
Yes.
They say that a lot. Women
Yeah.
get the
I mean, and
no's.
I think when I went to look at, where are there some amazing places for women to get money, the Carter's Women's Initiative has funding, Tory Burch Foundation and Amber Grant Foundation, the Women's Venture Fund, there's even like a Black Girls Fund. I mean, but something just to find these things.
Right.
You go into Google.
You get inundated.
Well, what happens is you get all this sponsored stuff,
Yeah, which we want you to pay.
which doesn't help you.
Right.
You have to dig.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Who has time for that?
Especially if you're trying to run a business.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and then once you find that, if somebody doesn't make it so that it is a quick pitch,
Right.
like you as a person who owns a business, and I think we even are trying to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
As the Three Ladies podcast, what's our 5-minute elevator pitch?
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Right.
Especially if we're trying to balance stuff.
right.
Balance
It's not easy, but every move we make in a direction is moving us towards our goal. And that's why I always remember before my head hits the pillow every night, I say, did I do something towards my goal? Because if you don't move in that direction,
Progress.
you will never succeed.
Right.
What's the saying? Now, how do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit.
Well,
I think Oprah said it best. You made me think of it. She said, just do the right next step. Whatever's the right next step for you,
Right.
That's it. Don't focus on all this.
Yeah, but sometimes the problem is I don't know what that is.
Okay.
And so it was very interesting when I started just Googling, I found this thing that Goldman Sachs has something called 10,000 Women. It's a program that they have, and it's very interesting because I opened it up and found all these free courses that you can sign up for that teach you about marketing, about running a business, how do you start, and it's like these little free, you just log in. It's something through, when you log into their website, and we'll put that in the notes.
Right, that's important.
When you log into their website, you can just log in and become a member of this free course, and it takes you through these videos. They're like 15, 20 minutes. It talks about building a community. How do I market to people who are about what I want to do? It's like each little bite-sized thing, which I don't need a certificate.
Right.
I need a
Start.
trail or a path or something.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
And that's great because so many people think that, oh, I'm so inundated. I don't know how to use social media. I don't know how to promote my business. It's too much. Maybe I should hire somebody, but I don't have the money to hire somebody. Just start where you are. Like
Start
us.
where you are, like you told me.
You know,
start right where you at.
Start where you are and every day improve it.
That's it.
Well, and also too, it's like what our value. Our young people know how to do social media.
That's true.
And so what young person doesn't want to make $50, $100?
Right.
You know, so
Or
let's
get the cred. That,
or it's exactly the credentials. So, you know, we're trying to get some high school students to help us because maybe they know how to do this social media stuff a little bit better than we do.
But I'm thinking, I even asked my son, and it's like getting them to do it is the issue, but that's a whole nother story, right?
Yes.
Well, I think, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, mom asked me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You know.
And the odd thing about it, they'll rather go work for somebody else and do the same thing.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Exactly.
Yeah, work for parents.
Because as you were saying it, I'm like, why won't he do it for me?
It's like I didn't mind cleaning houses for somebody else, but I wouldn't clean my own or clean my mom's house.
Right. Okay. Now I see what it is.
Yeah.
So if Auntie Eunice or Auntie MC,
Yes.
okay, if y'all ask him, maybe he'll do it. Okay.
But I mean, what do you think it is that we struggle as we start to formulate our own entrepreneurial journey? For me, it's about how do I manage that 9 to 5, right? Then I come home and then what?
So that's where that work balance life comes in.
And the discipline.
And the discipline, setting boundaries. So etching out time for this is for family, and that's it. Turn the phones off, right? This is the time I'm going to work out. Right?
Yep.
This is the time I'm going to church. Etching out that time, bringing the child to work. Or little cutie.
Right.
My little cuties, you mean my little elephants or my little dog?
Right, like harmonizing it is what I'm saying. Like if you have to bring them to work, whatever you have to do, that works for you, right?
And have your family buy in and let them know that this is important to you.
Right, bring them into it.
Right, that they're not being ignored. This is also important to mommy.
Right.
And I'm going to make time for you for this time period. But then during these hours, mommy needs to work on this.
And even letting coworkers know, listen, family's important. I had a coworker, he let me know that he was a single dad. And there was a day that he had to leave work because his daughter got off the bus at the wrong stop. And he said, Keisha, I need to go. And because I knew what he was going through, I said, go, I got you covered.
And see, I think
that's what I mean about harmonizing it, right?
Yes.
with women owners, we understand that more.
Right.
We understand that sometimes you need to be in both places and that we shouldn't have to give up our family desires and needs and wants.
You can't. And you have to keep in mind that some things are going to get left incomplete, right?
Yeah.
You got to get used to that too, to say, I'm not going to be able to complete this today.
Tomorrow
Shelf it, and tomorrow's another day.
And the other thing too is perfection, throw it out the window.
Why are we looking at you?
I don't know. And I just turned my head this way. it's something I'm working on.
Right.
It's
I
something I'm working on.
understand. I mean, you know, I struggled with perfection for a long
Right.
time. And then
Yes.
I think just as I've gotten older, I realized
That's where I'm at. I'm like, listen, if I don't get to clean the house, it ain't gonna happen
Right,
today.
it's okay.
Right,
I
right.
embrace the mess.
Yes.
you
But
know.
now I've adopted this thing about, because I want to live a luxurious life.
Okay.
I will find the money and hire a cleaner.
Okay.
Yes.
I will
Allocating
drop off
it.
laundry so it can
Okay,
get done.
there you go.
Yes.
There
Yes.
you go.
And days when I cannot cook, I will order out.
Hey,
Because
Taking things off your plate.
taking things off my plate, because if not, I will burn myself out.
Yes.
They'll find me on the road as roadkill and just step all over me.
It's true.
Yes.
And what good are you?
And
Well,
what good are- and
at
what-
this point,
exactly.
right?
It's
Yes.
called the Queens of Delegation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
My mom always told me, she said that you're the engine to this ship. If this ship break down, it's not going nowhere.
That's right.
So
It's
I gotta
true.
maintain the engine, do the oil change, fuel it, whatever it has to be done, wax on, wax off. I'm gonna take care
That's
of it.
right.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
right.
what I like about how we're approaching this is that we're looking at, so what's our content, and
Right.
then once we have our content, then we understand, so how do we get the steps to get it out there? Like, what's our social media plan? What's our marketing plan? What's
Right.
our way to connect to people? Like, we're having a live event towards the end of this month, and so, you know, we're looking at those in the future, and it's like we have lots of ideas, and we're making a list,
Right.
but we're kind of starting to stay present with what we need to accomplish in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
And we're learning to pivot.
A little
right?
bit, yes.
We're learning to pivot. Sometimes things don't work out exactly the way you plan.
Yes.
So you say, you know what? I'm going to go this way. Pivoting, a basketball player knows this. That one leg goes down. It doesn't move. It's just you're going to do a different move.
Really?
That's the pivot, right? But you're
Okay.
still in place of
Right.
which way you want to go. if
But I
that
think
makes
it's
sense.
hard because, like, right now, we have to think about, so what is our 5-minute pitch? If we are to go after a grant, do we have, like, a plan of where we see what we want to do in 2 to 3 years? You know,
we need
and
to
I think
think about that.
it's hard to do that when we're trying to stay present in the moment as well. So I think that's the struggle,
Right.
is that we get into the moment of doing what we need to do, but you do this really well. She really goes big.
Yeah, she was
All
sitting
the
down there.
way.
She was like, "We gotta make ourselves available because Oprah's gonna call us any day."
I
now."
know.
I'm telling
All
y'all.
right, and she talks about lipstick.
We're going to be
line.
on the own
Right.
channel.
Right. And she
but-
talks about, we're gonna buy a building down here. So
I know,
let's
she's
get-
Yeah, like, y'all didn't see that?
I'm just like,
and,
okay.
Right.
Like Keisha said.
I said, and so what I tell her, let's put that on the list.
Right.
But
have
you know
the-
what I love about y'all?
have the
Y'all don't
Keisha
say,
list.
Keisha, no, that's not going to happen. You
Right.
say, you know what? Let's talk about it later.
Let's put her on the list.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Y'all still
yes,
allow me to
yes.
have my
The
dream.
Keisha list.
Yes.
Right. like
I'm,
Oprah.
I'm starting to heavily believe in, and I say this, and I have that as a quote in my email. It's like, what you are seeking is also seeking you.
You
Of
said
course.
that to me.
And I find it so many occasions where I was just telling Mary on the ride here, I was, doing something on my mom's phone, and this video popped up, and I don't know why it was frozen, and it kept playing the same thing over and over again. So I said, let me stop and let me listen to it, because it wouldn't stop playing unless I listened to the whole of it.
Right.
And it was speaking my language. It was telling me that, you know what, something is coming and I should prepare for it. And it was something that I was thinking about, and it was just like the right message that I needed to hear.
Right.
So sometimes when we think that, life is happening, what's the thing happening?
Nothing
to
is a
us,
coincidence.
it's happening
For us.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I
I
totally
know that
agree.
nothing is a coincidence. This
Yes.
is not a coincidence.
No.
Yes.
So
yes.
I highly believe that. And the meeting that we had yesterday,
Oh,
in that meeting, right away when he said something about real estate,
Right.
you jumped right in my head.
Yes.
I was like,
The antennas went up.
yeah,
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
ding, 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 ding. Real estate.
Right.
Property.
right. So that's what I mean.
Right.
You do have to think big.
I agree. I mean, we want to build wealth. We
Right.
want to build legacies. We
Right.
want to build something with our companies that's meaningful.
Right.
And it's a balance, which
Right.
I think is hard to
Right.
manage, the
Right.
small picture and yet keep your big picture in mind.
Right.
Okay.
And
Yes.
and sometimes it's, what is the big picture, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Because I think it's difficult to think really big.
Right. Right.
You know, really aspirational. I mean, in my mind, in the back of my mind,
Is there?
I have the 100 million.
Okay.
You know,
Write that check.
Mine is at the front.
listen, I don't.
right here.
I have it in the back of my mind because I'm putting out that energy
Yes.
to attract whatever that is, the 100 million.
Okay.
But it makes you scared in
Right.
some ways.
If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
I know, but still,
Yes.
you know, because you know that somehow you need to lay down our foundation,
Right.
which I think we're doing really
I
interesting.
think we are.
Yes.
I think
We have
are.
our meetings.
Right.
We're very
We're
structured.
consistent.
We're thinking about
Right?
what's
Yes.
meaningful to us for content and sharing. And so I think that's what the message is, that it's about showing up.
Yes.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded.
Right.
And it's going to support you in your dreams.
Exactly.
But in all of this, ladies, let's not forget family. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's important.
That's why we're working on
Let's
this.
not
Yeah.
forget family and finding that time for them. And this song is in my head. Can I please sing it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Go
Take
for
it
it.
So wait, what's? It's by Harry Chapin.
Okay.
The Cats in the Cradles.
Oh.
And the cats in the cradles and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. It's an old song. I want y'all to check this out. The song chronicles the boy. He was born. Then he became a teenager. And now he's an adult. In the song, he says to his dad, come play ball with me. Come hang out with me. And dad is like, not right now. Please listen to this song. Not right now. I don't have time. He's busy. And the dad says that, and the son says, I want to be like him when I grow up. He always looks at his dad. I want to be like him when I grow up. He grows up, and guess what? The dad is retired. Now he's saying, I want to spend time. Let's hang out. And guess what the son says?
I don't have the time.
I don't have time right now.
Well, you know,
So please, please, please.
That's
that
a full circle.
full circle. Don't forget family in all of this.
I don't
Like
think,
you said, that's
well,
why we're doing
maybe
it.
what it is it's that you don't, it's not like you have it's about how you make your business as a fabric.
Okay.
And that you weave your children into it in some ways. Because
Yes.
face it,
Harmonizing it, right?
well, let's face it, if you're building a business, one of the best things to do is to hire your children. What a tax write-off that
I'm
is.
glad you said it.
I mean, come on, hire your children, hire your cousins, hire your uncles, hire your aunts.
That's right.
I mean, I think there are some opinions about, don't hire your family.
You want competent people.
Well, of course. you don't want the crazy aunt.
The kids gotta learn.
Right, but you
want competent people.
Well, you can't just say you hire
No.
the siblings because certain people, even though they mean well, they are probably going to drive you more crazy than help you. So
Well, you never know.
Look, as I look at my beautiful daughter on the side, you're hired.
so I said, well,
It depends.
it's a
Well, it comes with a certain amount of sometimes friction.
right.
But I think sometimes, too, there's an unexpected love and kind of endearment that you've got these shared moments, even though they may be uncomfortable.
And that's where I'm going with it. Yes. My mom, she made me go get my cosmetology license. I didn't
Really?
want to go get it, but she said, if you want to come back here in the backyard, don't forget.
I know.
The shop was in the backyard. You're going to go get your license. I'm glad she forced me to get it, but it
Right.
allowed me to be in there. I was in there with women telling their stories, learning so much.
Yes.
It just taught me so much, and she had me right there with her. She knew what she was doing.
And think of
That's
the
the
memories that you had.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Those are
Working,
rich.
working
Priceless.
alongside with your
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Prices. I learned so much from
My
her.
mother taught me how to sew.
Right.
Oh,
And
see.
when I was in college, how did I make extra money? I sold, I went to and worked in a fabric store and made people's choir dresses.
Right.
You know,
So look at that.
$20.
gift.
That connection in
Right.
the family. Well, my mom taught me about real estate. You
Right,
know? I
exactly.
bought my first house
That's
because of my
amazing.
mom. You know,
That's right.
she said when you leave this house, you're going into another house. You're
That's
not going to get
amazing.
an apartment.
That's
Right.
And that's what she did. So I always saw her as that person that
Wow.
is possible.
Yes.
And I'm going to do this. And
Always
to this
admire
day,
your mom for that.
yes, yes. So, and that's why I still have that entrepreneurial real estate bug in me
Yes.
still.
And I
Yes.
think that's very key, is that you have to see someone
Who's done it.
does it.
That's
Right.
why I said bring the kids along.
Right. Yeah.
Let
yes.
them
You know,
see it.
let them
Yeah.
be part of it.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Because that's in the back of the head. That's there.
yes, it is.
So, what's some of our
So-
key takeaways?
Key takeaways. I'm putting my glasses on.
Well,
Mama gotta see.
you know, I think for me, it's to balance my schedule and not get overwhelmed by what has to get done, and recognize it's okay to take it step by step.
I like that. I
You
like
know, to realize that sometimes those small steps every day, even if it's teeny tiny
that. Right.
and not within my expectations,
Right.
it adds up.
It adds up. I like that.
Yes.
My key takeaway is to allow your body to rest. I'm serious about that.
Yes.
Because what good are you going to be if your body is not recharged? You're not going to be productive.
Right.
So get your rest. It's important. What's your key takeaway, Yo-Yo?
I think I have two. One of them is definitely I'm married about doing one thing each day towards your goal.
I like that.
You know, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be something small. Even as small as writing a to-do list of the things you're going to do the next day. That's something that's moving towards your goal. Because I think if you see it visually, that you have things to write down and things to accomplish, you'll move further.
It's the journal.
It's the journal, which we'll talk about on another
Yes,
episode.
I know.
Forget work-life balance.
Yes.
Let's do work-life progress. Right?
Yes, whatever you track, it moves you towards progress. I
Right,
believe.
right.
So it's very important. Me writing it down holds myself accountable, and I'm gonna also piggyback on you. Definitely rest, recharge, take time for yourself. I'm a big proponent of that.
Solo
As a mother,
Yes.
as so many different hats I wear. Take charge of your life.
Yes.
Because you only have that one life.
That's
And
right.
the other thing too is you can always listen to educational things where you're cleaning, you're exercising, you're
Audibles.
cooking.
Yeah.
I love that.
Podcasts.
Oh,
Right.
without
Like
a
this
doubt.
one. I'm sure you're probably
Yeah.
doing so many things, and you're
Yeah.
listening to this on your way to work, or cleaning,
right. That's
or
right.
just sitting at the beauty salon getting your hair done. Take time to feel that mindset.
That's right.
It'll take you
Exactly.
a long
And
way.
harmonize it.
Yeah. So in terms of women entrepreneurship and summary of this, there's great women entrepreneurship grants out there, funding. There's a lot of businesses out there by women. Please support them.
Please support them. Seal Creative. Please just go check her out. You're
Scarves.
going to love her scarves. Please, Seal Creative. Loving it.
She's inspirational.
She is. Love
Very
her.
much so.
Yes.
And then we'll have lots of resources in the notes, so check that out as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So until next week, ladies.
Next week,
That's
as
right.
always, love it.
Right.
Loving it.
Bye.
See
Bye-bye.
you later.